All right. Welcome back to another episode of Hondo's Blockbuster. We are here with another movie review, and I haven't done one of these in a little bit. And yeah, kicking a little bit old school today. No camera crew, Pooch is on vacation, everyone's on vacation except me, because it is movie season. We've got some good ones underway, and first on this docket, Predator Badlands. All right, just got out of seeing it with my dad. We just did the 80s action movie draft, which I'll link it up somewhere here. But definitely check that one out because pretty kind of surreal that we got a Predator movie coming out this week, and then next week we've got The Running Man, both original 80s action movies, and so pretty cool. Or I guess it depends how you look at it. Pretty cool that we got that two of those this week or in the next couple weeks. So yeah. If you're new around here, appreciate you stopping by. If you can, hit us with a like, comment, subscribe, and also hit us with a follow on Instagram or TikTok at Hondo's Blockbuster. And then you can find me on Twitter at David Hondo underscore. Yeah, I hope I got that right. But yeah, we are here talking Predator Badlands, and what did I think about it? Really good. I honestly really enjoyed this movie, and so did my dad. We walked out of it. We looked at each other when the movie ended with big smiles on our face, and it was just a big action movie, way different than one I thought it was going to be, and two, a pretty big departure from the Predator franchise. Like from what they did and where they took this character, I thought it was a pretty big departure. I'm interested to see what people think of it. Early reviews are pretty positive, and I'm going to echo that sentiment because I really, really found myself enjoying this one. So yeah, I'm going to keep this spoiler free for the first half. We'll touch on some spoilers. We'll put a spoiler warning at the end for when we touch on a few things, but won't keep this one too long. Again, really enjoyed it. I thought this movie looked beautiful. I thought the Predator itself looked incredible. In terms of CGI, just in general, because obviously there's a lot of it in this movie, and I thought everything was pretty flawless. A few times, some of the action scenes, there's so much going on that you're kind of like, oh my God, you're kind of almost like on a little simulator roller coaster ride. But overall, I thought the CGI looked great. I thought the sets looked great. I mean, I don't even know how much of this was even shot on location, to be honest with you. But it made it seem like it was. It made it seem like it was shot on location for what they could. That was not enough exploding crazy animals on this planet. So a couple other things that I really like. I really enjoyed this movie is one, I thought the score was great. It's like that, and it's like, like that's literally actually how it sounds. But when it plays in the movie, it's cool because also one of my favorite things is that the Predator doesn't speak English, right? They didn't just like come up with an excuse that he could just speak English now. No, he speaks in his alien dialect, and it sounds like that, and it's all like growling, and it seems primal. And the score plays into that 100%, and it just adds to that. So really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed where they took the Predator, right? This is the first time that we've really seen the Predator kind of like as a main protagonist, right? Like, he's the Predator is the villain of the original movies. He is the creature, he's the monster, he's the hunter. And I think really in Aliens versus Predator, I haven't seen it in so many years. I believe he's technically the protagonist, but this is a very different story. Painting him almost like this could come off the wrong way. I am somebody who loves the MCU. I am somebody who loves superhero movies, and I love obviously that franchise and things like that. This kind of felt a little bit like an MCU version of the Predator, and what I mean by that, and I'll say both pros and cons on that. The pros that it felt like a different type of action movie, and it felt like it was setting up a bigger universe, setting up a bigger franchise, and it was fun. Like it was a fun adventure, a fun team up per se, which I won't, spoil anything else, but it was kind of like Predator and Friends. But in that aspect, I don't know, it kind of had a similar vibe to what kind of the MCU, especially some of the early days, went through. In terms of cons, it's not a huge con for me because I found myself enjoying it. But I will say this is, again, more leaning into that action adventure, but almost even more to the comedy. There was more comedic moments in this movie than I thought there would be, and probably the most comedic or funny Predator there is. Not necessarily just the character. I mean, he is funny. There's some moments with him more of just like kind of like he almost got that Drax the Destroyer, things just go over his head type thing. But it definitely it didn't feel like the original Predator, dark, it's these guys being hunted. It kind of had a way more sci-fi portion to it than I thought it was going to have. And then it just was like it was a different type of fun. So I don't know how that's going to resonate. I mean, again, based on what critics have said, that critics seem to have really enjoyed this movie. I am very curious to see what the audience reaction is going to be. But again, me and my dad, we walked out of this movie having a great time. We thought, there's not that many, honestly, characters in the sense of like actual characters. It's literally the Predator, who again looks great, is badass, is cool. I like what they did with him, kind of making him, and again, this is not a spoiler or anything. He is kind of like in the early stages of him becoming trying to prove himself, and you'll see why pretty early in this movie. And I thought the movie kicks off really well, kind of sets the tone early of what to expect. And yeah, just found myself really enjoying this one. And again, a lot more than I thought I was. And I went in with pretty much kind of lower expectations, not because like I thought it was going to be terrible or anything. I just, I'm not this huge mega Predator fan. Of course I enjoy the movies, but it's not like a franchise that I'm like, oh yeah, like new Predator coming out. Like, yes. I was just like, all right, it looks cool. I got to go check it out. I want to bring my dad. And we went, we saw it, we enjoyed it. So that is that. So before I get into spoilers, I will give a score because if you want to stick around, whether you've seen it, whether you haven't seen it, you don't care about spoilers, I will do that now. But I'm leaning. I'm gonna go pretty high with this one. I think higher than I would have thought I would have gone. I'm gonna go with an 8.2 out of 10 on the Hondo scale here. Really enjoyed this one. It really has a big. First off, this is a blockbuster, but this feels like a summer blockbuster that came out just in fall instead. But really enjoyed it. Really good time. I hope people go support this movie, go see it. Uh, and yeah, that's where I will leave it. But if you want to be spoiled, or you've seen this movie and you've stuck around and you want to hear my thoughts of some of the things that are spoiler heavy, let's talk about it. This is your warning. Spoiler, 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 and here we go. All right, so essentially this movie follows Dex after, he's kind of the rut of the family, and the opening part of his brother and him, their dynamic, I thought was really cool, very interesting. And then his dad comes in, and his dad's this like menacing predator. And boom, off the bat, his brother saves him, and then his dad just executes the I thought that was pretty crazy. And again, like I mentioned, it sets the tone. And they send Dex to go basically to prove himself. He's got to go kill this unkillable creature, a creature that no predator, and I know their name's like the Kulak Cha or something. I don't know. But that's their species, and none of them have ever succeeded. So he goes to this death planet, is what they call it. I think it's called Gemma, and that's where he kind of learns a lot about himself. He meets some people along the way. I really liked Thea in this movie, or is Thea, and then she has the sister is the other one. I forget. I know I just saw it. I'm terrible with names, but Thea was a nice companion for Dex. But the standout for me is pretty much like he's kind of like a pet. He ends up being the son or daughter of the creature that he's hunting. So they kind of sort of have a fun dynamic, and actually a lot of comedy comes from that with Dex. And oh my God, wow, Bud, that's the name. It's Bud. All right, Bud, the little creature, the Koalawak, whatever the hell it's called. I thought they had a great dynamic. It was a fun. It was kind of a pet type thing. He's a cutie, and yeah, the predator learns that he's all about hunting alone, and he's super selfish, and it's also hilarious. I mean, he just that's their species. That's how he was raised. But he learns to start his own pack, his own clan, as he says, and they go off. And then there's like a sci-fi portion of it which I enjoyed. Kind of like it kind of made a quick 360 with that, but I thought it was pretty cool. It felt actually a lot like Alien, like it feels like they're introducing, they're kind of this is again the beginning of a franchise that will spawn into a new Aliens movie that will come apart. That's what it seemed like. There was an Aliens Easter egg, in like Dex's brother's trophies on the ship. There is an alien head, which I thought was cool. But yeah, so he goes. They save the mom. You think. Then Thea's sister blows it up from the inside. They have a final kind of confrontation. Dex kills her, and then he goes back home to face his dad in an awesome fight scene. I actually thought That fight scene at the end was sick. And first off, he kills the first two goons, then goes up against his dad, and then Bud ends up eating the dad's head off after he kind of traps him in the same thing the dad had trapped him in earlier. So it was just a really good time. It was a cool time, a cool experience, great action throughout it. And yeah. And it's absolutely setting up a sequel. So I listen, I'm sorry. I hope this movie makes enough money to garner a sequel because everything that Dan Trachtenberg, and I'm so sorry if I butchered that name, has set up and has done with this franchise so far. Because I think he did Prey, and he really seems to one understand the Predator franchise and two really love it. And I hope it makes enough money that we do get to see a sequel because it obviously leaves off with kind of a cliffhanger with that. So really enjoyed this one. Go out and see it. And well, I guess if you're listening this far, I hope you saw it already. So yeah, that is my Predator Badlands review. Again, if you're new here, appreciate you. We do a lot of drafts. We're doing a draft per week. And of course, I'm going to try to review as many movies as I possibly can, especially the blockbusters. So this is the first one. Running Man will be next week. So stay tuned. Thank you for listening. And as always, see you at the movies.